I'm Dr. Pam Middleton, your virtual holistic pediatrician. Through my programs and services, I help families achieve and maintain health and wellness through inside-out healing using holistic modalities that encompass the mind, body, and spirit. So today I want to talk about mental health for parents and children, and how your children's mental health or how they're doing can actually be a representation of how you're doing. Okay, so we're going to start with babies, and this is something that if you are a parent in my practice, you may have heard me tell you this before. Your baby will pick up on your activities. Your baby will pick up on what's going on with you, rather. So let's say that you're stressed out. This is something that I see all the time. You know, the baby is at home having some problems, seems to be extremely fussy, or, something's going on. And for a child even, the child may have something going on that the parent, you as the parent, you're kind of hovering. Oh my gosh, you're not getting better. If you don't get better, we're going to have to go to the doctor. So what happens? You may give yourself a couple of days. Things aren't getting better. And then you kind of say, okay, we're going to go to the doctor. And then you relax because you're like, okay, we're going to see Dr. Pam. Everything will be fine. And you get to the office and your child's actually fine. And you're saying, well, for the last few days, last couple of days, this hasn't been the case. But what changed? You relaxed. Your child relaxed. Now, for babies, this can be very important if you are a breastfeeding mother. So if you're breastfeeding your child, and let's say that you're not doing what everybody told you to do, which was sleep when the baby's sleeping. Maybe you're not doing that. So, you're kind of staying awake, trying to do some stuff when the baby's sleeping. Then you go through the night and the baby's waking up a lot. So then you've got to wake up a lot. Next day comes and eventually you're going to hit a wall. Okay, around that time may be the time that you notice that your child is extremely fussy every day around this time. How are you doing every day around that time? If every day around that time, that's maybe around when you hit your brick wall, that may be while your child is extremely fussy. All right. Now, children have, everybody's back in school now. So there are some children who are going to have anxiety about being in school or about things that are going on in school, especially if they're in a new school, they're in a new environment, or if they, if you guys have moved recently, so they're in a new school with totally new people and they're in a new neighborhood, that's a lot of changes for your child. So one of the recommendations is always that you should try to have family meals, at least once a day, like for dinner. If you can have family meals where you can sit down and talk to your child about how their day was, what's going on. And it also helps you because it gives you a chance to just kind of sit down, relax, eat a nice meal, not stress out about, all the other things that are going on, because, we all generally are having very stressed out lives these days. So we have to have ways to kind of let some things go and relax. And mealtime can be one of those times. Like, you can give yourself permission at mealtime to just let everything go. It's like, you know what? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to enjoy my meal because whatever I'm stressing out about, there's nothing I can do about it while I'm eating my food because I got to eat, right? So that can be your time to just let go of everything. And during that time with your children, you can also just ask them about what's going on with them, how's school, what's going on in their lives. You always want to know about your children's friends, who are the new friends they're meeting in school. And so all of this can actually help your child too. Now, one of the things that it's been shown that if parents are arguing at the dinner table, it directly affects your children's digestion. So that's another reason that the dinner table should just kind of be the stress-free place. That can be your stress-free area where, we're not going to have arguments at the dinner table. Whatever is going on, we're just going to let it go so that we can sit and eat our meal really well, because your digestion is very important, and emotions can also get tied into your digestion. So if you are, having arguments at the table, you're not going to digest your food well. And if you're having arguments at the table, your children are not going to digest their food well. So remember how I said that everything kind of can be related. When you're stressed out, that in turn can cause your children to be stressed out, if they're experiencing that with you. Okay. Now, there's some things, if your children are of a certain age, you're not going to be able to hide everything from them, but you really want to try to allow your children to be children and live as stress-free of a life as they can. What does that mean? That means that there's certain things that your children don't really need to know about. So you can just try to keep that to yourself. I discuss that when they're not around, so that they're not in the middle of, as we would say when I was growing up, grown folks business. Okay, children really should not be in the middle of grown folks business. Now, of course, you want them to be aware of certain things. If it's something that directly affects them, that's fine. But there are some things that you really don't want your children privy to, because once again, this is causing some undue stress on your children. So try to allow your children to be children, have as carefree of a life as they can. That's a bit difficult in this day and age because there's a lot more things that our children have to deal with. And so we just want to try to help them as much as we can. And if we help ourselves, we can actually help our children. So just to recap some of the major points I wanted to make today, make sure that that you try not to be extremely stressed around your children. If you have a child, an infant, you actually, if your child is sick, or if you're concerned about your child, try to relax about it. Of course, come to your doctor if you need to. Call your doctor to find out what's going on if you're concerned about it. But try not to just stress over it and get those feelings sent over to your child so that they're not handling things well. And older children, try to have the meal time with them where it is a stress-free situation at mealtime. So mealtime is stress-free. You sit there, you hear what's going on with them. You can share what's going on with you, the positive things. Use that as your time for positive thoughts. The other thing that I did not mention that's very helpful for older children and for you is meditation. And there are a lot of apps now that you can actually download free meditations for, children, teens, preteens. There's a lot out there. It's generally guided imagery, so they sit and they listen, and it can help relax them for some of the things that they may have to go through. And so don't forget that if your child is in a new environment, that might be a stressful situation for them, going to a new school, or especially a new school where there's all new people. They have to make new friends. Remember that this can be stressful for them, so try to help them through that. And with that, I'm going to leave you for the day so that you enjoy the rest of your Wellness Wednesday. I am Dr. Pam Middleton, your virtual holistic pediatrician. Through my programs and services, I help families achieve and maintain health and wellness through inside-out healing using holistic modalities that encompass the mind, body, and spirit. Follow me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Pam Middleton MD, and please do share my Wellness Wednesdays with your friends and family. Bye-bye. See you next week.